Chapter 6 Two-Dimensional Sasquatch. In 1967, Roger Patterson, with the help of Bob Gimlin, set out to film a Bigfoot documentary near Bluff Creek, California. On October 20th, Roger filmed 24 feet of color footage of a Sasquatch on a handheld 16mm Kodak movie camera. The footage has held up under decades' worth of scrutiny. While not proof of Bigfoot's existence, those images are the clearest and most compelling captured to date. Nearly everyone in the free world has seen the footage of the creature they filmed that day, striding up Bluff Creek. It has been played and replayed ad nauseum as a curiosity, and the images therein, especially frame number 352, have become synonymous with the subject of Bigfoot. The only person still living today who actually saw this living, breathing individual, not on a flickering film screen but with his own eyes, is Bob Gimlin. Yet the Patterson-Gimlin Sasquatch, also known as Patty, has become the poster child for nearly every print and news media dissertation on Bigfoot, serious or otherwise. The constant exposure has turned Patty, as the iconic depiction of Bigfoot, into something of a celebrity. This didn't dawn on me until after Mysterious Encounters began airing, and I started to experience the awkwardness of the celebrity swoon. Now, you probably only knew who Autumn Williams was if you were a Bigfoot aficionado or liked watching professional bull riding on OLN and your usual prime time PBR schedule was rudely interrupted with some show about Bigfoot, or were channel surfing and happened to land on it. Otherwise, you wouldn't know her from Adam, or Eve, rather. But those who found the show and tuned in regularly saw 13 episodes of this blonde girl running around the country chasing Bigfoot. Everyone became intimately acquainted with the inside of her nose, thanks to that stupid backpack cam. Autumn and her deviated septum were blazoned across millions of TV sets in living rooms from Florida to Washington. And something weird started to happen. I first noticed it on the public Bigfoot forums. People began talking about me as if I were something, not someone. The initial criticisms of the show from armchair quarterbacks were brutal. Autumn Williams was fair game, and it was hunting season. I read lewd comments about my physical, attributes, snide commentary on everything from my clothing to my nose to my manner of speaking. Anything in the show that they didn't like was my fault. I was the host of the show, after all. Therefore, I must have had complete control over every aspect of the series. I was publicly tried and found guilty of being less than perfect in 100 different ways. And how dare I be? I was on their televisions, after all, and only perfect people end up on television. And it was hurtful. I had been a member of these forums and these people's peer in the research community for years, and suddenly they were talking about me as if I didn't exist and couldn't read the horrible things they were saying. And I suppose, in a way, I didn't exist anymore. I had suddenly become two-dimensional. I was different. I was on TV. I was suddenly, as one guy put it, Miss Hollywood. After the initial hubbub died down, another equally disturbing aspect of the phenomenon began to take hold. People started acting strangely. They'd hang back quietly at conferences, staring at me, finally coming up with a weird perma-grin and saying things like, "I've seen all of your shows. I can't believe I'm meeting Autumn Williams. Will you sign this?" Or I'd call someone to discuss an issue they were having with logging into their member's account on the website, and they'd say, "I can't believe I'm talking to Autumn Williams." No one referred to me by my first name anymore, or a pronoun like you. I went from being publicly tarred and feathered to dealing with starstruck fans, all in the course of a few months, and I was completely bewildered. I was the same person I always was. Somehow, I had suddenly become a two-dimensional thing on a screen, a poster child for a cause. It dawned on me then. I kind of felt like Patty, the Patterson-Gimlin Sasquatch, an icon of sorts, and I didn't like it one bit. We are constantly exposed to celebrities in two-dimensional settings, on TV, on film, in papers, magazines, and print. We learn about them through those two-dimensional means. We think we know them. Their names become synonymous with what we think we know about them. The name Michael Jackson brings to mind all sorts of preconceived notions and connotations, some positive, many negative, but all are a conglomeration of what we've learned about that person through two-dimensional exposure. Did any of us really know him? Did we ever think about the possibility that he might have woken up on a Sunday morning, maybe rubbed his eyes, poured a bowl of cereal and channel surfed, just like anyone else? Do we ever get past the sensationalism and picture celebrities as real people? If I've learned anything about celebrity, it's that it is uncomfortable and often dehumanizing. You can tell when you've become a celebrity, because people seem surprised to interact with you directly, living and breathing, in a three-dimensional, real-world setting. And they let you know they're surprised. I can't believe I'm actually talking to insert full name here in lieu of the appropriate pronoun. It would almost be funny if it weren't so damned creepy. That's why the paparazzi make the big bucks. It's unfathomable that a celebrity might actually drive through Taco Bell like everyone else. Unless it's Britney Spears. See how we think we understand people? Capturing images of two-dimensional icons doing everyday things in the real world is big business. Hasn't Bigfoot become a celebrity of sorts? Isn't Patty's image instantly recognizable? And what are we, really, besides a bunch of Bigfoot paparazzi, running around with cameras trying to capture the money shot of this two-dimensional icon doing normal, everyday things in the real world? What's a picture like that worth? What was Patty doing on that fateful morning? What did she have for breakfast? Where was she going when she was captured on film, striding purposefully across that sandbar? What was she feeling? Where did she sleep later on? What was she thinking about these two little hairless fellas? Who pointed those things at her and showed such interest in her footprints? How would you feel if someone walked up to you and said, "I can't believe you're real"? When we view Bigfoot superficially, as a two-dimensional subject, when we fail to read between the lines and understand the nature of that which we seek, we fail to find it. This is never more apparent than when I take novice researchers into the field. They simply can't seem to wrap their brains around the size of a Sasquatch. We stand there in the dark, and a stick snaps. Their flashlight clicks on immediately, pointed at the brush in front of them. I'll explain to them about the evils of shining flashlights at a Bigfoot later. For now, I take hold of their arm gently and still the frantic side-to-side scanning. "That's his crotch," I say with a grin, and lift their arm. That would be his face. But failing to fathom Bigfoot doesn't stop at size. More importantly, it's common misconceptions about the nature and behavior of the creatures that consistently cause researchers, also known as would-be witnesses, to miss the mark. I've spent many years disagreeing with colleagues who are certain that Bigfoot is simply an animal, an ape. The details and experiences Mike related to me have confirmed my suspicion that this species is very different from what most people believe it is. Bigfoot researchers interpret sighting reports with biases firmly in place, and they consistently miss subtle, telling details that would indicate that these creatures are far more intelligent and intuitive than they're given credit for. Why else would Bigfoot research have been such an abject failure over the past several decades? Because erroneous preconceived notions won't get you very far when you're trying to prove the existence of something that you haven't even begun to understand, especially if you're underestimating it. The greatest irony? The majority of Bigfoot researchers are trying to prove the existence of a creature that exists only in their minds.